FFLs. If you guys can't tell by my background, you already know what time it is. We about to get into the Mavericks. And in today's video, guys, this is going to be a happy video. As y'all know, I just saw the Mavs game against the Atlanta Hawks, the opening game of the season for the Dallas Mavericks on the road with the Atlanta Hawks, the score of 113-87. It wasn't a good game, guys, by any stretch of the imagination. So let's go ahead and get into some takeaways from this game. I am not one of those overreactors, as I've said before. It's just one game, but we can definitely take a lot of things from this game to kind of assess and kind of get an idea of where things are headed and what things could be fixed going into the rest of the season here. This game was pretty much like a game that we can kind of get to see when it actually matters what Jason Kidd's coaching style and scheme and things like that were going to be going into the rest of the season. I got a lot of takeaways from this game. So let's go ahead and get into those. This game here was a tale of two teams to me. If you guys can kind of just see exactly, this is what we kind of brought up before on a previous video when it comes to Trae Young and Luka, both of their teams, both of their individual teams. This game right here was a perfect example of what we talked about before. And let me go explain why. So we still see that the Dallas Mavericks are very dependent on Luka. He's heavily dependent on Luka. Luka is what keeps this engine going. The difference between how Dallas is dependent on Luka compared to Atlanta is like light years different. With Luka's team, there's nobody on this team that can create for themselves. On Atlanta's team, there is at least 6 guys that can go and get their own shot. So they're not heavily dependent on Trae Young. They don't need Trae Young to set them up. If a play breaks down, you have all these guys who can create for themselves and put the ball on the floor and go to the basket. Dallas doesn't have that, which is what we've been talking about over the offseason, in which we need Dallas to fix, which is why you hear a lot of people talking about Dallas need multiple ball handlers and a second option. This is why we were talking about that. Trae Young doesn't have a whole slew of all-stars on his team, but you have a lot of talented players that can do multiple things. Not a lot of players are dependent on Trae Young. Bogdanovich, we saw Cam Reddish, you saw DeAndre Hunter. These guys can put the ball on the floor and go get it for themselves without depending on Trae Young. Or if a play breaks down, they can go ahead and go get it without Trae Young having to save the team and bail him out. And this game right here was a perfect example of that. We hear them talking about that we need Luka to be off the ball more. We need Luka to trust his teammates. And when Luka did that, you saw what happened. So tonight, Dallas shot about 33% from the field, 30% from threes. There was a lot of bricking tonight, guys. Nobody was hitting. It looked awful from everybody, including Luka. Luka's standards, it looked awful. There were too many turnovers for sure. Too many turnovers. I think the only positive was the free throws. Wasn't a lot of free throws, but they did hit about 92% of the free throws. That's the only positive in this game for me. I'm going to go ahead and give y'all another takeaway from this game because a lot of what I'm talking about is going to lead into this second takeaway. We also heard over the offseason, like I said, about Luka getting his teammates involved. And I can kind of look at this two ways. It looked like Luka either was doing what LeBron would do, which is let me get my people kind of set up first and get them going first. Then I'm going to go get mine. Or it might be schemed that way of Luka. You need to be more of a facilitator first, then going to get your points. Because it looked like with Luka doing that, he kind of struggled a little bit. He started coming a little bit toward the end, but then it was too late by then. It was already up by damn near 20 points. And so it looked like Luka is still trying to figure his way out with that. And I don't know how I feel about that. Because like I said, if Dallas had more guys, more options of people who can put the ball on the floor and go get their own shot, this wouldn't be a problem for us. I feel like with Luka's skill set, you don't need him to be a straight facilitator. You need Luka to go out there and do his thing. But at the same time, you want Luka to be a Jason Kidd type point guard on top of doing what Luka does. But so he's having to hear it from both ends. It's like, oh yeah, Luka not getting everybody involved, or oh, Luka needs to go out there and be Luka. And it's like, what am I supposed to do? Because he's getting criticized from both ends on that spectrum. And I feel like Luka struggled with that last night, not knowing what he needs to do, because he started to take over a little bit. But like I said, it was too late. He started taking over like second half of the third quarter, and it was too late. By then, it's like I said, a 20-point lead. And with Luka, man, he is a rhythm player. And I like it when Luka just jumps out the gate and starts attacking. But this also kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, too, on previous videos. We don't know Jason Kidd's coaching style. And with that also, this right here was a test of Jason Kidd being able to make adjustments. We talked about that too. Whether we want to admit it or not, Rick Carlisle was a great X's and O's coach. You come out of a timeout, he got to play for you. Didn't really see that with Jason Kidd. It was a couple times when Dallas came out of a timeout, wasn't sure what they were supposed to do. Now, granted, this is their first year under Jason Kidd. I know it might take a little time, but I mean, you guys got to get this together like ASAP, quick. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what these other teams above you are going to do. With the West being so tight, anybody can be number one. We saw the Lakers lose their first game of the season, so we don't know. It's really a toss up. It could be anybody in that top 6 seed, because you really want to be top 6. You don't want to be in the play-in. You really don't want to be in the play-in. So Dallas' goal really is to be in the top 6, really to be top 4, because you want, home court advantage in the first round at least, And with a lot of people kind of predicting that they might be up there, right now you're not starting off on a good foot. But like I said, not trying to panic. I know it's still early. I know there's a lot of things that, this team with whole new coaching staff, whole new front office, all that stuff is trying to implement. So I understand. Another thing too, guys, I'm kind of been on the fence about KP. Y'all know I have. I'm still on the fence about KP. Listen, John Collins outplayed KP. You have to be honest. John Collins outplayed him. John Collins was doing exactly in this game what we wanted KP to do. If you see that Luka is not on, having that second option is a great plus. Having that guy that can help pick up the offense if the first option is struggling a little bit. KP didn't do that. And so it's always been about being aggressive with KP. And it's like whenever the moments get big, KP shrinks. Maybe that's just me. It just seems like he just shrinks in those big moments, and we can't never just get those flashes in the bubble that KP had in those big moments. You know what I mean? And like I said, John Collins outplayed KP in this game straight up. Like, the dude was aggressive. He was blocking his shots, scoring on them, rebounding over them, just all that, man. It was just very frustrating, because we heard all these, stories about KP supposed to be a brand new man. He's energized. He has a whole new coaching staff, so he's ready to go. Rick Carlisle's gone, so he's good to go. And I did not see that in this game. Another thing that kind of got me too, guys, I know y'all probably heard us say this before about Dwight Powell. Dwight Powell should not be starting. I'm sorry. He should not be starting. This dude made Clint Capella look like Shaquille O'Neal down there. Clint Capella is not an offensive threat, only a lob threat. They were throwing the ball to Capella down on the post, and he was dominating Dwight Powell. What are we doing? What are we doing? And to me, now, like I said, I know it's only the first game, and I know they're still trying to figure things out. What was the rotation talking about? I figured that if you saw a lot of these guys struggling, that's one thing I can give Rick Carlisle. He tried to find, lineups that would kind of give this team a little boost. And Jason Kidd didn't do that. He just stuck with the same like 9 players or maybe like 8 players the whole entire game. Like I wouldn't have mind seeing maybe Josh Green in there to bring some defensive energy, because he's known for doing that. He can be a defensive, disruptor. Put Josh Green in there or put Sterling Brown in there. Like, we didn't see any of that, and I was getting really frustrated with that because I was thinking like, okay, maybe he'll put some of these guys in there to kind of change some things up to kind of see what could work. Because you saw Dorian struggled. Dorian struggled. His 3-point shot, his defense, his rebounding, everything. It's just like I don't know. I don't know if it's just the fact that it was the first game and us trying to get used to this offensive scheme. You know, let me do this too. Let's give kudos to the Atlanta Hawks. Their defense was A1. Their defense is A1. Look, Atlanta's for real. Atlanta's for real. And as a Mavs fan, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm a little jealous. I'm a little jealous being a Mavs fan because the way that Atlanta built a team around Trae Young, that's what we need for Luka. So many ball handlers on that team. And when I say ball handler, I don't mean somebody who plays point guard. You can be a ball handler without playing point guard. To me, a ball handler is someone who can put the ball on the floor and create for themselves. We only got Luka. But tonight, there was a bright spot tonight in Jalen Brunson. Now, Jalen Brunson actually did his thing tonight, man. I was very pleased seeing Jalen Brunson was very aggressive and kind of helped pick up the offensive slack that Tim Hardaway and Kristaps wouldn't bring it to the table. And so, let me see. Brunson scored. He had 17 points in 25 minutes. Like I said, Jalen Brunson was aggressive. I can see Jalen Brunson being in the six-man discussion again. If he can continue this run that he's on right now in the first game of the season, throughout the season, being consistent, maybe giving us 15 to 17 points off the bench, being that guy that you heard us talk about many of times. Dallas known for having six man throughout their history. Like either be Roy Tarpley, it'd be Nick Van Axel, you know, it'd be Antoine Jameson, of course, Jason Terry, Jerry Stackhouse, you know, guys like that, Vince Carter, you know, guys like that who were guaranteed six men, guys, you know, that when they come in, they putting points on the board. No questions asked. I can go sit down and chill knowing that I got this guy in here that's going to give me 15 to 17 points a game. That's what we always had throughout our history. Now, if Jalen Brunson can do that, and plus this kind of being a contract year for Jalen Brunson, which I think it is a contract year, he's up for an extension. This might work wonders for the Mavericks because he's definitely going to ball out of control now, knowing that he got that contract coming up. And so we definitely need somebody that can be consistent off the bench. I would like for, Jalen Brunson to have another guy off the bench with him to kind of help pick up that scoring load. I thought it might be Maxey, but Maxey struggled a little bit too. I can see maybe, Brown or somebody like that coming off the bench. Sterling Brown, I'm sorry, not Moses Brown. Sterling Brown coming off the bench and kind of helping. Not saying he's going to be a consistent six man or anything, but kind of being like that seventh guy that can kind of help pick up the scoring with Jalen Brunson because he's definitely going to need help. Having somebody come off the bench and kind of be that consistent scorer with him, you know, a la Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell when they both played for the Clippers. You had those two guys that can help steady the offense while your main guys kind of get a rest on the bench or can come in with those main guys and help give a scoring punch, you know, give them other options on the court other than just Luka and other than just KP, you know, get him some options in scoring. But like I said, guys, it's just this game. I'm not going to lie to you, it was very frustrating. It was very frustrating. I did not see Dallas getting blown out the way they did. I figured if they were going to lose, it was going to be a close one. It's just that it looked like the defense was affected by the offense because both teams struggled in the first half, shooting about the high 30s as a team. But then it got to the third quarter, and it's like when Dallas continued not hitting their shots, it started affecting their defense because their defense was very solid in the first half going into the third quarter. That's the first half of the third quarter. Defense was pretty solid. Like I said, it's like when they could not hit their shots, that's when it started affecting their defense. And we don't need that with this team, man. We're gonna need to have an actual identity with this team and find out what that is. You had you had an identity with Rick Carlisle. We need to find out what this identity is with this team. And listen, understand that, you know, these players on this team are really cool with each other, continuity, all that stuff. But like I said, tonight's game shows that Dallas needs to make moves. They need to make moves. This team is having the same issues that they had in the playoffs in this first game, which is Luka dependent. We got to Luka just go out there and you work your magic, and then everybody else just follow suit. Where you saw where Trae Young struggled for like 2.5 quarters, and he had other teammates out there just taking over and carrying that team. Because we saw that in the playoffs with the Hawks last year. Like I gave that example, Game 7 against the 76ers. You saw Kevin Huerter, who's like the 6th or 7th option on that team, go out there and lead the team in scoring, where Trae Young struggled and he won by double digits and went off to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's what we need. You see, matter of fact, another example I talked about in a previous video. You saw Luka struggle tonight. What happened? We got blown out. If Luka struggles, this team is out of it. That's fact. We've seen it too many times. And it's like, I don't know when Mark Cuban and them are going to wake up and see that, listen, it's got to be a change. You have this core of players for at least almost 5 years now. This core of players. It's time to change it up. Like I said before, I'm a little jealous of the Atlanta Hawks because their GM got it from the get-go. Listen, we have to do something different. They gave them 2 years, and they did something completely different. We still have the same team that we had for the last like 4 years. The same core players for the last like 4 years. And so something had to change, or it's going to be many a nights just like it was tonight. I'm just saying. And, of course, as a Mavs fan, you don't want to wish worse on this team. You definitely want them to get better. But as a Mavs fan, you have to be real with yourself and see what we have on this court right now might not be as good as everybody's making it seem like. Because, like we said before, too, going into the season, they're very heavily dependent on KP. Now, I heard all offseason about how KP was healthy and going into this season, he wasn't rehabbing, any of that. That's fine. But can you actually trust him to help carry this team? Because once again, it's looking like it's going to be Luka having to do everything and everybody just fall in line. I'm just saying. But that's enough for me, guys. I'm like I said, not trying to be negative or anything like that, guys. It's just when you see games like this and we hear about what Dallas needs and, especially from the owner, and we don't get it, and then you see these type of results like this, it's a little frustrating. Hopefully they can do something here this season, maybe towards the trade deadline or something, man, to kind of shake things up. Because right now it's not working. We've tried this over and over and over again, and it's still the same song and dance. And like we said before, too, if you don't start kind of changing things up and start winning the way that you should be winning with a player like Luka might be chunking up the deuce and he might bounce. And look, I want to go through the whole 90s again like we did with the 3Js and all that. We was one of the worst franchises in NBA sports history. You don't want that. So Dallas needs to do something here to get the ship turned or whatever. Maybe I'm overreacting. I know it's one game, but this one game just shows a lot of glaring holes that we've been talking about for the last like 3-4 years. So there you go. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. For guys watching this video, please like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel, guys. We're going to be talking about some more Mavs stuff here coming up. It's going to be a very long season. As y'all see from this game here, it's a very long season. So go ahead and look forward to it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and be dropping post-game videos just like this after all the games. Like I said before, I think me, Jay, and Will are going to be trying to hit up some away games this year. I'm very excited about that. We're going to do some post-games, away game videos. I mean, I'm excited. Also, guys, why don't you guys comment down below? Give me your opinions on this game. Give me your opinions on how you think this team's going to look going into the rest of the season. And do you guys see the Mavs making any changes coming up here anytime soon? Pray that they do, but they really definitely need to do that. And with that being said, guys, it is your boy Rail. We talk Mavs, and I'll catch you guys here again soon.